have a LinkedIn post about this. So if anyone wants to go there, I'll link it down in the description. But yeah, that makes sense. I think you answered my question. My question was going to be, why is a trustless society so important? I know I saw that you mentioned about banks using a blockchain within each other, right? Which I find really interesting because it's a little ironic, right? Like that a centralized entity is using a decentralized system within themselves. So I would love to know your thoughts on why, like, what is the impact of adoption of such a technology by centralized entities, right? Especially given like we had the budget recently, right? And even though Bitcoin was taxed at 30%, which I didn't really understand, what like that kind of legitimized the technology within India, right? So I think that will give way to it becoming more mainstream. But I've also always wondered and wanted to ask other enthusiasts that what does it mean for the government? Because like the government is basically, as a centralized entity, endorsing something that is quite opposite to what it is, right? So I'd be curious to know, like, I don't know enough about this, but like, what is the government's take in this? Do they have like an incentive in promoting Bitcoin, or like helping it becoming mainstream, or is it just something that either you get on the train or you move aside?
So I think I would refrain from commenting on government takes, right? Because the government put in that, okay, now you pay 30% tax and 1% TDS, but then they also clarified later that this does not mean that they are legitimizing the Bitcoin or they are legitimizing cryptocurrencies, which is weird if you ask me. But anyway, so that's their take. Now, I think the inherent question you are asking is basically why, because this is against what maybe government wants to control the money, right? Why would they endorse it?
Exactly.
So I think there is another podcast by Naval Ravikant, okay, on whole. I think it is on the Tim Ferriss show. So he talks about how and there are various posts on Twitter by Balaji on this, like why government. So it's now becoming. See, what I said was that the nodes are distributed across the country, right? So one country would not control it. Now it becomes a game of innovation, right? Whoever controls innovation controls or can grow their economies, right? We have seen what US did with their economy because they're innovative economies, right? So now when you see that most intelligent people are building something related to blockchain or Bitcoin or Ethereum, or they're building tech, now it becomes a country game who wants to attract the talent, right? I have personally seen talent moving from out of India to these countries, right? They're moving to Switzerland, they're moving to Singapore, they're moving to Dubai. So now the countries are looking at that, right? I don't know if you have followed, but if you follow in the US as well, there are many states who are attracting Bitcoin enthusiasts. So Miami and Florida, they are putting regulations which are favorable for crypto enthusiasts to move because they see those intelligent people who are building and making moves. Now, what every country risk is by banning it or by not supporting it, they risk losing that talent. They risk losing build. Let's imagine your country is going to build a next Amazon, next Apple, and now you suddenly lose that talent, right? We are very happy when we see that Google is led by an Indian, but it's not built in India as well, right? It could have been built in India, right? So every country is now it has become so big now. Now it's a talent war across the world, right? Across the country. So anybody banning it is risking losing quite good of a talent which can build companies in the future. And of course, everybody wants innovation, everybody wants to attract jobs, right? So I personally talk to many people in the industry, and all of them still don't want to set up in India, right? Which is bad for us because we lose the talent. And I know that we have a very good talent, highly technical talent. All the companies in the NFTs, not of course not all, but many good companies would have somebody, a developer or somebody from India, right, building. But unfortunately, they cannot do that. They don't want to establish their base in India. It's not that it's not happening at all, but there are many moments which is which are with that the talent is moving outside. So to answer your questions, I think it's like with the, again, I don't know exactly how they would think, right? But with the government, they don't accept until they have to, right? So until unless there would be a point where they have to because of the consequences, they will, right? But then nobody, I think nobody can risk banning it right now. If they want to, I think they can still ban it, but the incentives are in not in their favor, because there will always be another country which will incentivize it, right? So I don't know if you know, but Portugal is incentivizing movement of crypto enthusiasts because they offer 0% tax. Then Thailand also put 0% tax, and many other small countries, because now they see it as an opportunity. So if India bans it, do you think everybody will stop working what they were doing for last 4 or 5 years or last 2 years? Maybe somebody would, but maybe not, right? If somebody has a very innovative protocol or they're running for years, they would, what they would do is they would move, right? And countries, I think, cannot risk that to become the next Silicon Valley, or to become the next Austin, or to become the next Bangalore.